So what are some things you can stay away from to avoid making mistakes while building your computer? Well, way too often you see people building these awesome computers with these super powerful components, but they're not going to do tasks that allow them to utilize those components. Now, I won't tell you how to spend your money, but sometimes people will spend hundreds or even thousands of extra dollars just because they don't know what they need in their computer. So if you have an established workflow of what you do on your PC, then you need to build those components around what you do every day. If you're rendering videos or playing super demanding titles, then that would justify spending thousands of dollars on your computer. But if the only thing you do on your computer is play a pre-rendered game like League of Legends or watch Netflix while playing a remastered children's clicking simulator from 19 years ago, then you probably don't need a $2,000 computer. That being said, your satisfaction is the only one that matters when it comes to building your system. Underspending on components is a bigger issue than it seems. Now trust me, there are times when the budget is tight, and that's okay. Having less financial power is becoming more and more common as this generation ages up into the workforce. So if you're going to be upgrading your system on a budget, then you need to understand that while it is harder, it's not impossible. For instance, don't stay away from buying used parts. There is evidence that I will link in the description that has found that buying a used crypto mining GPU isn't all that bad, because while they are run 24/7, they're almost always undervolted, which keeps the temperatures where they're supposed to be. A GPU being held at a constant high temperature may seem like a bad thing, but it's actually that constantly fluctuating delta V that causes the wear and tear on the silicon in the GPU. So I found this used RTX 3070 Ti online for $450. Now the seller says it's never been overclocked or used to mine crypto, but it's a good rule of thumb to take what the sellers of used items say with a grain of salt. In comparison, the cheapest 3070 Ti that I can find is $700. You can save yourself $250 if you're willing to take the risk on a used card. So the third point I want to talk about is prioritizing your satisfaction over your perceived satisfaction. Let me explain. Social media has a massive influence on our perception of the world. And when you see countless videos of YouTubers building these crazy systems, it's really easy to convince yourself that you need a system like that, because the people that are successful have those crazy systems. So if you want to be successful, you have to build a system like that, right? The fact of the matter is that everybody doesn't have one. Let's talk analytics. So Steam keeps track of what graphics cards its users have, and we as the public have access to that data. And we can see that in May of 2022, the 1060, 1650, and the 1050 Ti are still the most commonly used cards. Those three cards account for almost 20% of Steam users, and they are what would be considered low-end cards at this point in the timeline. We don't even see a standalone 30 series card until 10th in the list, and the three most common 30 series cards, being the 3060, 3060 Ti, and the 3070, only account for less than 5% of all Steam users. So don't get sucked into that belief that if you're gonna buy a card, that you have to buy a new one, because not everybody else has. Personally, I'm still using my GTX 970 that I bought in 2015, and it's still just chugging right along. Now I want to talk about overspending on peripherals. Everybody likes a nice keyboard and mouse, but you can get way more bang for your buck for peripherals than you could just a couple of years ago. Due to the improvement of manufacturing processes, quality increases due to competition in the expanding gaming industry, and people putting less value on gamer brands like Corsair and Razer, you can save enough money not getting super high-end peripherals to even go up a tier on your graphics card, like from a 3060 to a 3060 Ti, which is a massive bump in improvement. For instance, instead of getting that wireless G502 that you've wanted, get the wired version. It's $70 cheaper. Do the same with your headset and keyboard, and you might be able to run your favorite games at 60 FPS. Now, the thing that really ties all of this together is not doing enough research. You have all the info that you need on the internet at your disposal. All you have to do is use it. Do more research than you think you need to. Because after all, if your computer is something that really matters to you and you spend a lot of time on it, you should put the time into building it that it deserves. I hope those 5 tips helped. Thanks for watching.